In this video, we're going to discuss the exclude level of detail expression in Tableau. Again, a reminder, level of detail expressions occur during the order of operations. Fixed occurs before dimension filters. Include and exclude occur after. Include and exclude are very dependent upon the visualization. Fixed is not. So include and exclude will behave incorrectly if the structure of the visualization doesn't make sense, whereas fixed will always behave the way you expect it to, regardless as to how you've set up the visualization. So what if we wanted to create something that looked like this? It's three different levels of sum of sales. We have the three different levels of sum of sales: country, state, and city. Now you can't do this with drag and drop, because as soon as you drag and drop, you end up with city sales. And by that, what I mean is this. If you load the Superstore sample data and you make this, you put country, state, and city in the rows, and you put sum of sales in your text box, you're going to get this graph. And if you move state, city, and country around, the final numbers are all going to be the same, right? Because it's still at the country, state, city level of detail. So again, these numbers match the numbers here, even though I've rearranged the dimensions. Let's take a look at what that looks like. All right, I'm in Tableau, and I've got the sample Superstore data loaded, and I'm going to drop country, then add state and city, and I'll drop sales into text, and I get the numbers that we saw in the slides. And you'll see that no matter how I rearrange this, I'm still seeing sales by country, state, and city. It doesn't matter what order the dimensions are in. It slices and dices by the three dimensions, and then it places the number here, regardless of what order these different labels are in. All right. But notice what we've said now. This is sum of sales by country, state, and city. But with the exclude level of detail, what can we do? We can create a new field that excludes the city level of detail and another field that excludes the city and state, and we can put them all into the same visualization. Let's talk about that. So the syntax for exclude is just like the syntax for include and fixed. It's exclude the dimensions you want to exclude. So again, just like include, it will always take a dimension. It doesn't make sense to use an exclude with no dimensions. And then you'll have your aggregate expression. So what we're going to do first is create a new field. We're going to call it LOD sales exclude city. And we're going to add this calculation, exclude city, sum of sales, which is basically saying to Tableau, for this field, I don't know what the level of detail is for your visualization, but whatever it is, use everything you've got except the city field and then calculate the sum of sales. All right. We're removing city from the view for the purpose of the calculation. All right. So let's do that in Tableau. So I'm going to go ahead and create a calculated field. I'm going to call it LOD sales exclude city. And I'm going to do curly brace exclude city colon sum of sales. And my calculation is valid. And I'm going to drop this into my visualization. And so now I've got my sales excluding city, which is actually what? The state sales, and this becomes city sales. Now I should probably go over here and set up my default properties to being currency. And there we go. I could probably make it match a little bit better. So let's just fix that. There we go. Now we got a match. Now what do we do now? What if we want to do the country level sales? Or actually what we should probably do next is give these things better labels, because now they're getting kind of confusing. So we'll right click on the sales label and choose edit alias. We're going to call this city sales. We're going to right click on this one. We'll fix the order in a second. And we're going to make this state sales. And we'll rearrange them. There we go. And let's go ahead and make an exclude sales, LOD sales that excludes city and state. So I'll click here. I'm going to duplicate this. Then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to choose LOD exclude city and state. And all I have to do is put a comma here and put in state, because I can put as many dimensions in here as I want. Doesn't matter the order they're in, just like it didn't matter the order they were arranged in up here. All right. I've got my third one here. I'll drop it in and I'll change its alias to country sales. Rearrange them a little bit. And there we go. We're in one visualization, we're showing city sales, state sales, and country sales. And obviously it makes sense that for every row, country sales is the same. For every row within each state, state sales is the same. And then city sales is unique for each row. All right. So just as with include, exclude exclude level of detail expressions are dependent upon the visualization itself. Now, the nice thing is that if you run an exclude on a visualization that doesn't include one of the fields, that's okay. It'll try to exclude it. If it doesn't find it, it doesn't do anything. But again, if you do an include where they're on a visualization that it's not originally intended for, you could end up with some strange results, right? So include, exclude, fixed, level of detail expressions are all very powerful for you, and you should definitely learn these things before you go to any interview that involves Tableau.